Hello and welcome to this April 30th, 2010 video version of Invested Central's Chart of the Day. I'm Tom Bowley, Invested Central's Chief Market Strategist, and it's my pleasure to provide you with today's Chart of the Day. This Chart of the Day is brought to you by StockCharts.com, simply the web's best financial charts. Today we are featuring LaBranch & Company, ticker symbol LAB. This is better than a $200 million financial company that operates as a registered broker-dealer. LAB, you can see back in January, made a huge move up on heavy volume. This was in the second week of January. Since that time, the stock really has been under a lot of buying pressure, and it's risen from just below $3 back at the beginning of the year to over $6 just a couple of weeks ago. You also can see that throughout much of the year, the RSI has been above 70, especially back January through March, and the stochastics has spent a great deal of time above 80 and quite a bit of time as well above 90, even approaching 100 in early March when we hit this initial high back here. That was around the 570 area. But notice on the last high, and actually the last three highs in price, notice the MACDs continue to come down, and what that tells us is that momentum is slowing. Even though prices continue to move higher, it is a sign of slowing momentum. Normally what we'll see is a move back to the 50-day moving average, sometimes very quickly, and you can see this was no exception. We had a couple of really rough days on Lab, went down to the 50-day and actually even a little bit below the 50-day. But notice the volume wasn't anything exceptional. It was just kind of moderate volume, so we're not too worried about the move below the 50-day moving average. In fact, there was a breakout area in early March from about the $4.80 area. So when we came back down and went below the 50-day, which was up at around 515 at the time, we did move down and put in a doji on Thursday right near this 480 support. Actually, the low went down to 476, but we managed to close back above this support level, and we did it on slightly increasing volume. So this is it's a pretty decent chance that Lab could be putting in a bottom here. As always, we want to keep a stop. There's a couple of areas. Number one, a close below 475 might spook us, especially if the volume started to pick up. Probably the bigger area, though, is where this move started from, which is down around the 450 area. So if you want to give it a little bit more room, a close below 450, especially if volume's picking up, would be something to keep in mind and maybe take note of. To the upside, we'd expect Lab to get back up, test the 50-day moving average, which is at 521. You've got gap resistance at 525. So that area is going to be a little difficult. You can see the 20-day dropping and at 527. So there's going to be a lot of reasons for folks to sell as you get up close to that 5.25 area. But if you manage to break above 5.25, especially with good volume, there's not much resistance until you get up to $6. And that's our ultimate target here on Lab. So currently, I would say the trading range is about $4.80 to the downside, $6 to the upside. This makes for a pretty good risk-reward trade, and with Lab moving into fairly oversold territory, RSI 37, stochastics down at 5, so pretty deep into single digits. That's an indication that the stock's ready for a bounce, and because we are down near support, seems like a likely time to do it. So overall volume trends here look good. We've got the MACD, which was negative. That's played out down below the 50-day moving average. We're now bouncing off of support. This is where we'd really like to see Lab make a turn. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation today. Be sure to check out our Chart of the Day every day at InvestedCentral.com. While you're there, sign up for our free weekly Market Pulse newsletter and have the Chart of the Day emailed directly to you. Happy trading.